we bring in Tyler for the 9:15. First and foremost, sir, what is the mug and what's in the mug?
It is the Scarves and Spikes mug again.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not gonna lie, this morning it's kind of rough.
Yeah.
We're moving. This is actually my last day doing a show in this studio.
I was gonna say, this is your last studio day.
Yeah. So a lot of other stuff has been moved as well, and this is decaf coffee.
What?
Yeah. It's all I had, man.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
Oh, what am I going to do with you, man?
Give me some coffee, please.
Somebody, well, it's like, well, you know what you could do, but I don't know if that's going to help you out right now.
Great segue.
Yeah, right there.
Hey.
Get the QR code from our friends at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. That's your QR code for those of you who are watching, however you're watching us. And Tyler, he can watch us and participate. He just can't do a damn thing about it because he's in his studio for the last spaces. Don't forget, when you go to Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com, use the code Soccer Down Here 15. Get 15% off your purchase. They in turn take 10%, and they will devote it toward cool stuff. That's the official term, as Albania now has a lead in the 16th minute. Big. See, I had Albania as getting out of the group stage.
Did you?
Yeah, I did, because I fell in love with the idea that they had an algorithm where they had some numerologists and some dudes who came up with a formula to figure out, okay, all of the players worldwide, like this planet, every other planet, dudes on Neptune playing for Neptune FC or whatever, they found out that the players that they could reach out to who had family of Albanian descent. And it turned into this big database of information. And they have on their roster in the tournament that is going on right now, they have dudes who were born in 8 different countries as a part of the 26-person roster for the Euros. And that was how they got Armando Broja from Chelsea, was through this mathematical equation and doing all the research that they came up with. The Albanian number crunchers, which I think is a 3rd division club there in Albania, as a matter of fact. They came up with all of these dudes, and they ended up with 8 different countries because I think Broja's mom is Albanian. Broja was not born in Albania, but that's the loophole that you can use. It's like familial birthplace and things like that. That's how they got Broja, who plays at Chelsea, to play for Albania, was using this spreadsheet and this mathematical equation. And so I love the fact that they were, finding different ways to grab players. And they've got a lead in the 18th minute over Croatia. And boy, does Croatia need a win after losing to Spain in match day 1.
Yes, they do. It reminds me of whenever whatever hot prospect or whatever is the new guy that the men's national team might be looking at. Mm-hmm. Everybody's like, just go look at his family tree, because somewhere in there's got to be a link to insert country here.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, and so that's how we play this. It's like, okay, so he's got to have some great grandmother. It's like the Olympics, where it's like, I think it's the great grandparents or something, where if you have grandparents or great grandparents that are linked to a country, then you can sit there and you can be a part of the process in that country.
Yeah.
So that's where it is. And yeah, I had Albania making it out of group. I had Ukraine making it out of group. Those are my two wild cards. And after
Ukraine had a rough day.
That's what I'm saying. After match day 1, brother, I wasn't looking good, but that's no real surprise that folks shouldn't be able to pay attention to that kind of stuff. So that's where we are this morning. Pars was bringing in a point that we were discussing as you were rolling in, and it was having to do with the books. And since Atlanta was near the top in spending, can we bookmark this year's spending release and measure future rosters against it? Maybe build a spreadsheet so folks can figure it out. My larger point in this is that'd be great if Major League Soccer let us know where folks were when it came to the cap and where folks stand and how much they were. We can, like I said, we can go to NHLnumbers.com or whatever the hell they call the website now, and we can look at dudes and their individual salaries and how it applies against the cap, who's long-term injury, who's what, who's where, how much space do they have, how are they playing up against the cap, what do they have to do, these kinds of things. We don't have that kind of a mechanism in Major League Soccer. And I was making the point to Pars coming in that that Atlanta United was spending right up against the edge of the cap. Then Garth came in and said that we had to get rid of some contracts, short-term pain, long-term gain, that kind of a thing. But we still don't know, A, where Atlanta United is in the ladder and how much space they have to navigate, considering that they have gotten rid of some of the contracts that they needed to get rid of.
Yeah, and quick shout out to Pars. We ran into each other passing by on the way to the game. So howdy. But yeah, I mean, the thing is right now, it's so difficult because it's like MLS just basically gives you one of those really annoying math problems from like 10th grade, that it's like a half a page long and you have to read through it to help deduce what information you actually have to figure out what information you need.
Yeah.
There's no line anywhere that MLS puts out that says, all right, well, we're not going to give you all the information, but we'll at least give you this starting point. They don't even have that. you can't go into any roster, unfortunately. I mean, and people try, there's people like in our Discord, I'm sure other Atlanta Discords, I'm sure on Reddit, everywhere, Twitter, like that, they've tried keeping spreadsheets. They've tried doing this, that, and the other to try to get an idea of like, where this team and where any team is at in terms of like the salary cap and spending and all. And it's just not easy. And it's not going to be, it might be close, but it's not going to be accurate, right? Because there's so many things about contracts. And then of course the rules themselves that just, they don't put out and they don't make sense when they do put stuff out. So it's hard. It's really hard. I mean, you just have to kind of go based on like clues, like Garth said, going back a couple of weeks ago, is that they really don't have any room to do anything right now. And that was obviously pre-Giakoumakis move.
Right.
So, but if you take that as your starting point, maybe you could figure a little bit of it out, but it's not easy, man. It's really not. It's so frustrating.
It is suboptimal, as we say.
It is suboptimal.
And so if we go by the information of Garth and now you have some space, now the question is, and by the way, I feel like I need to do this as a matter of fact. So I think what I will do is open up this particular piece of sentence structure with this. Day 4. Yorgos Giakoumakis has not said a word to the 17s on social media, but he sounds damn happy to be at Cruz Azul. I feel like I need some kind of emergency, some deep, dark voice. Maybe if we
I like that. That was perfect. Because it's a conspiracy.
Day 4. Giakoumakis says nothing on social media to his former club and their fans.
Peeps of nothingness.
More than happy to do it after he left Celtic and was heading this way.
Yeah. A little bit of stir in the pot there, but yeah. I mean, just post something, dude. You were here for a year and a half, man. Like,
just look. Give me, and you should have done this on your way out the door. Say the boilerplate, tab A, slot B, flow chart. Enjoyed my time. Drop a couple of references to restaurants and places that you enjoyed. Enjoyed my time with the club and the team and hanging out with the 17s. Thanks for buying my jerseys. Thanks for buying my T-shirt after the Hattie. But no. Day 4. Gigi says nothing.
Nothing at all. Nothing. I mean, that's the thing. Man. Like you said, give the copy paste version. I don't care, man. But like, it starts making people think things that probably aren't true.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't happy. You whatever, this, that, like, there could be so many things. But it's just like,
but apparently folks in Major League Soccer enjoy losing. Did you hear that?
No.
Oh, okay. So yesterday we found the quote yesterday from his opening presser. So I'll go ahead and play this for you. Now we're to the point where Saturday Night Live, it's the buckwheat assassination.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't hear this part. But let's ride.
Doc, did you see the video of when buckwheat? Well, I know I didn't, Ted. And so here's Gigi at his one of his opening press conference moments at Cruz Azul. It's about 1:06. I'm surprised you didn't hear this, but no, thanks to
I had a busy day yesterday. I probably missed some stuff.
Kind of moving and making sure that folks don't see what's behind the curtain off of your left shoulder, camera right. So here's Gigi. Here's Gigi yesterday at his press. Well, it would have been 2 days ago at his press conference.
So since Cruz Azul showed some interest in me, I started following all the games. I watched all the playoffs, quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, every single game, and I think the level here is higher. So I was really excited. I wanted to make it happen, and Cruz Azul showed me how much they want me, and that was a crucial factor for me to make my decision. Cruz Azul for sure is a team that I think is a level higher than MLS for sure, and is a team that is chasing records, chasing trophies, and is a winner. They try to win always, every single trophy. So for me, I love to work for these teams, to play for these teams, because the expectations are high. Your motivation has to be always there, and it's not okay to lose. Sometimes that's a bad thing in MLS, that it's okay to lose some games, and I hate it.
It's okay to lose in MLS, and I hate it. I love the fact that dude doesn't like to lose. I get that. But apparently in Major League Soccer, it's okay to lose.
I don't know. Oh, there's so much to unpack from that little clip.
And good morning.
Wow. Need some more real coffee now. Okay, well, I mean, I guess my thing, first of all, is like that. It's like that's a copy paste from his initial press conference here. It was very like, you know, the team loves to win. The team seemed very interested in me, and that made the difference for me. Like here, it was Carlos going over to Scotland to actually have a talk with him. And yeah, I mean, Tommy's saying the same thing. Like that was very copy and paste from what he said when he got to Atlanta.
Absolutely was.
But I mean, there's two things about the whole like MLS likes to lose type comment. I guess one, if anybody in this coaching staff since the time that he's been here ever gave him the impression that it was okay to just not win games, then there's something very wrong. But if not, then I don't know where in the world he ever gets in his mind that, like, I understand he's an ultra competitive guy.
Get that. I love that.
But I don't think anybody's ever given off the vibes that it's okay to lose. Like, it might be okay to draw on the road when it feels like that's the best that you were able to come out with. But I don't know in what world anybody's ever been okay with Atlanta or any MLS team just sucking.
Mm-hmm. I want to suck.
That's
because that number one draft pick is really going to make a difference.
Right. Let's tank the season so I can go get, some random person out of college. Not knocking them, but like, come on, guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thought you'd enjoy that.
I'm glad you showed me that.
Yeah. So Ricky's asking, was he self-snitching?
Maybe
his motivation wasn't always high.
I don't know. I mean, this is a team sport, Yako.
Yeah. Was he under threat of assault at his other stops when he well, maybe it's Celtic from the fans, Yeah. Jarrett would be the one to let us know about that. And so and David, Gigi didn't realize his coach got fired for losing.
Right. Like that happened. I mean, I know you were like halfway in Mexico when it happened because you were already had a foot out the door or whatever. Now I'm a little mad, man. I've defended Giakoumakis for so long, and I like the guy. My son loves the guy. All right, but that comment irritates me. That really
right now, I know that there are a lot of folks, and I'm probably going to evolve into one of them. That you're in Leagues Cup. I want Atlanta United to advance out of group stage in Leagues Cup, and I want to match up at Mercedes-Benz against Cruz Azul and all that cement money.
Yep.
I want that now.
I do too. And I want them to play that clip on the Halo board before the match starts.
Absolutely. I mean, the group stage, involving Charlotte and Philly and yourselves as a part of that group. But now
Yeah.
I want Cruz Azul out of the group, and I want them to take on Atlanta United at Mercedes-Benz and play that clip.
Yep. I totally agree. Give me some theatrics now. Like, that is ridiculous. And man, I would go to the press conference.
You're apoplectic now.
It's crazy, dude. Like, I get the other stuff you said. Fine. Like, you just copy and paste it. I get it. But like, then you got to make a comment like that. Where did you get that from, Yako? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's cool to lose.
Yeah.
I'm digging it. Yeah, we want to lose because Ken Griffey Jr. I want that number 1 draft pick, out of Seattle. Yeah. I want to get there. No offense to a Jeremy Abobasi type selection, but
no.
I want a tank so I can get that number 1 draft pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tommy, you are right. It was pretty much tab A, slot B, plug and play from the press conference here when he moved in from Celtic to Atlanta United. And so now Ricky wore his name on the back of my Atlanta United kit in Greece. Careful, Tyler. The man's drinking decaf this morning. Ricky wore his name on the back of his Atlanta United kit in Greece.
That's messed up. That's messed up. Turned his back on everybody. Now I got to go explain to my kid who is his favorite player.
You gotta burn the jersey in the driveway on your way out the door. You're moving from one house to another. Your last act is to take your Yakamakis Atlanta United 17's jersey away from your son, spike it in the driveway, get the gun,
lighter fluid.
Get the gun from the grill, and we're gonna go ahead and do it right here. We're gonna have a moment on social media, man. How's this for you and your TikToks?
Do it for the views, baby.
Exactly. How do you want to promote your show? We're gonna burn a Yakamaki's jersey in my old driveway.
It's all for the gram.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yes.
And also for a little bit of revenge for making stupid comments in a Cruz Azul press conference.
The IG and the GG. Yes, exactly right. That came across, and I think Jarrett was the one that stumbled across it. And you sit there and you cock your head, and it's a Seth and Amy moment, man. You go, really? Yeah, that's what you want, Okay.
And it's kind of hard to like defend that. Like, it's not like you were taking it out of context.
Yeah.
You played what, the full like minute before that?
minute 6, and it ended up I think it was 2 sound bites that were pieced together, but it ended up being a minute 6. And so that was and he was there. He had the blue screen behind him with all the rotating sponsors, and he had the 2 bags of cement there in front of the microphone and everything. And so welcome to your new city, and saying all the right things that. And I think Tommy's probably before your next episode. Tommy, I think, is going to go find that quote from the press conference, and you'll have your compare contrast.
Yep.
And you could probably play them. You could probably play them in simultaneous tracks.
Yep.
And literally, it's just like, okay, track 1 is this, track 2 is this. And so, so just play the same.
See where it changes. Maybe that last sentence.
Yeah.
It might be where it changes, and that's it.
Yeah, where it's okay to lose in. The SPFL. Literally, it's like, it's okay to lose in the SPFL. It's okay to lose in MLS. He goes to Brazil, or he goes to River Plate. It's okay to lose in Liga MX. Literally, it's like you hear the edit and the drop and the new league being quoted, and then it picks back up in the quote. You can tell it's an edit. So now that we see, but I got you fired up on decaf though.
I know. It's probably a good thing that it wasn't regular coffee this morning.
Oh,
my wife's texting me. She's like, we do have real coffee. We brought it back from the other house last night, which is great. So when I get done here, I'm about to be really, really, really fired up.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But no, it's all it's all fun and games until somebody has a quote in a press conference. But now that
quote.
Yeah. But now that has been said, Atlanta United, they end up with the draw with Houston, and now they're getting ready for schedule compression a go-go, which is stupid. I mean, literally, the schedule compression to get you through toward Leagues Cup is insane. I think we had it at 8 matches in 33 days, something weird like that. And coming out of Houston, now that you and the folks over there at Scarves and Spikes have had the chance to digest it, what is stuck in your brain, the post-GG era once it is continued?
I think for me, you had to go into this match not expecting, wholesale changes. I think, which they didn't have, right? Like you still rolled out a pretty standard, standard by Atlanta United means, at least in the past 3 years, a pretty standard lineup and a lineup that featured what you had. And I think it was the strongest lineup that you could have rolled out for the most part. And, of course, like the conversation from that day has to be Luke Brennan for sure. And I'm glad, because I think he's absolutely going to get plenty of more time here tonight, probably, and then in the very near future. But I think one of the things that stood out to me the most actually was actually after the match in the press conference. And there was just, we know Rob. We've talked to Rob before. We've seen him back in 2021 when this whole thing happened the first time. And, Rob is a very no-nonsense guy, and he will not beat around the bush. And
What?
yeah, I know, right? It's like this coming to a surprise to anybody. But in the press conference, when it was asked about, the schedule congestion and all that, and he said, it's disappointing for this result tonight at home, 2-2. However, he said, the storylines out there are essentially going to be that it's difficult to go win away in MLS. And he said, all I got to say is bring it, bring it on. So, those, first of all, those are kind of bold words, considering that apparently, MLS teams like to lose.
Yes, apparently so. Yes, thank you.
But also MLS road games are difficult historically, notoriously, especially for this team. So for him to kind of say, like, we want the pressure, now let's go get it. It was very, I think, different, obviously, than anything that you ever heard from Pineda publicly. I'm not saying that Pineda wasn't pushing his guys internally to go win on the road, but for Rob to kind of sit up there and accept that pressure was a pretty cool thing, I think, just from my perspective, because I think sometimes your players have to see that little bit of publicity, that little bit of extra pressure that you're putting on them from the outside. And not that they don't have enough pressure already in this team because of the results, but I just think it was just a stark contrast to the, I guess, kind of like public vibe that, Pineda always put off. So I'm curious to see what kind of attitude they come out with tonight based on kind of his comments the other night.
Jarrett, we played the comment that you found from Gigi in his opening presser, which is cut and paste boilerplate from the presser that he had when he was here with Atlanta. So now that we've started the discussion, we can take it literally most of Tyler's time before you came in and I asked that initial question about Atlanta and Houston, we were stuck on Gigi and his opening Cruz Azul press conference. That's how fired up Tyler's been this morning.
My favorite part of this was, like, I saw he put up a new post of Cruz Azul stuff, and the first comment I see is Tommy. And Tommy's just like, "Hey, thank you, Atlanta. See, it's not hard." Like, all I can think is like, wow, the pettiness is just going to flow through us all for a while here, because the results aren't here and this happened. The pettiness is going to be peaking at really dangerous levels.
Oh, well, yeah, well, and I said, Jared, now I want that Cruz Azul, a knockouts match here at Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, buddy, I just want to hear what the crowd sounds like.
Well, if a certain clip gets played,
well, but not. It's going to be a mixed bag, because you also still have a guy who put up, I think, the best goals per 90 in the league last year. Wasn't taking PKs and damn near won the boot. So
there was on 53% of the time. Yeah,
there was good, and then there was bad. Oh my God. I'm glad you also got to laugh at this. At this point, I'm just having fun with it because it's just, the car's in a ditch and somebody set it on fire for the insurance.
Absolutely.
Kind of where we're at.
Yeah. And apparently now I'm supposed to, now I'm to the point where I'm supposed to read my daily update of him not posting anything to Atlanta in a Ted Baxter voice.
Emilio, it's the one we talked about yesterday. It's the people are okay losing in MLS. I don't know, man. People aren't really okay losing here, judging by the comments I have to read every day.
Yeah,
and judging by like when I did a post game with Abe, with the comments we got at the station, people are not okay with drawing, much less losing. I guess my question for you, Tyler, is the midfield. We saw the Muyumba Dax McCarty setup. I know Dax is not a spring chicken anymore. How do you think you're going to balance the midfield going forward in these tight stretches?
You got to find some of that Michael Jordan like Space Jam juice to give Dax. I don't know, man. Dax is. I said it last week. I feel like Dax is going to be the most important player on this team for the next 2 months. But like you said, he's not young. He can't play a Saturday, Wednesday, and then Saturday game. He just can't do it. So that's tough on anybody. You got to trust in the J Fortunes. You have to, at some point, I think you've got to bring up a Javier Armas. Of course, Muyumba can go for a long time, but you're going to have to rely on like the J Fortunes and the Nick Firminos, and whatever kind of setup that you want to do. Whether it is actually having like a true number 6 where that just sits back and does what Dax does. I think the communication just has to be clear, whether it's a young guy or not. I think you just have to go into it with the sense that they're going to be very much defensive oriented. They're not going to provide the leadership, which is fine. I mean, you still have guys out there that can do that. That's not what it's all about. But Dax just has the experience. And I think, maybe you can coincide a little bit of this with when you get like a Steon Gregerson back, but you have Derek out there that can help, kind of facilitate things and maybe mitigate any of like the youth mistakes. But I think you have to use Dax as much as you possibly can, because I just feel like the team looks more organized when he's on the field.
You mentioned a lot of names for the 2's. And it was a point that I think that we've been making for a while, and a point that I reemphasized inside Mercedes-Benz is that this time between now and Leagues Cup is going to be the select your 2's, choose your adventure showcase. And it's you look at the names and it's going to be, I mean, legitimately Firmino, Armas, Brennan, maybe Matt Edwards is a part of the discussion. I mean, this could go any number of 19 different ways, but that's why you build a program like this and have a team in MLS Next Pro like this. So when the situation forces itself upon you and Cool Hand Luke decides that he wants to nutmeg playoff Franco Escobar and leave him in the dust by about 10 yards, you can have those kinds of moments from kids. And I say that because I'm 712 years old, that folks who have been a part of the process. I mean, Noah Cobb was playing in USL Championship when he was 15.
Yep.
Going up against Cameron Lancaster, who's twice his age, and not flinching, didn't care. And you're getting the same stuff from Alan Carlton and Luke Brennan. These are guys that have come through this system, played against older dudes, didn't flinch, and now they're getting the chance to do it with the first team. I mean, this is going to be where literally you're going to have that 2's scorecard and roster and the first team scorecard and roster, so you can sit there and go, okay, so if this, then this. It's a flow chart from hell for the next month. Yeah,
and if you can channel whatever it was that Luke brought to that match the other day with all those young guys, you're sitting pretty. And I even put that in the article that I wrote that night. Like he was an example in a lot of ways, not just to, the Alan Carltons and the other 2's, guys of the world, but like, I think the whole team needed a little bit of that passion. Like, not that the rest of the team weren't trying, weren't showing it, but he just came in and said, screw it. Like I'm going in. I'm unafraid. I'm going to be taking guys on 1v1. I'm going to cause 1/3 almost of the players on this field that are not wearing Atlanta United colors to get a yellow card. One of them is going to shove me in the back because he's that angry that I'm working him over. Like, he just came in and decided to cause chaos, and it was such a great thing.
like your favorite drop. Like
Get the clip of him entering after Evan Mosquera was subbed off and just lay that over it, and it would be beautiful. It would be, and then do a Luke Brennan every single touch, montage after that. It would be amazing. I love it. I love it.
I've opened the door with you for Luke Brennan. Jarrett, go for it with Tyler.
Abby, he is like that every game. You don't have to. Yeah. Tyler's one of the people you don't have to tell that, because usually we're screaming at people to watch the 2's. I don't have to yell at Tyler to watch the 2's.
We've seen Tyler watch the 2's.
That's what I mean. Like, Tyler knows what's up. Yeah, man. I guess let's shift it to the back line now to like try and balance all that too, because you are going to be still missing guys. You're still missing a Brom.
Stop encouraging, Jared.
What?
Stop encouraging that we're still going to have folks that missing at the back.
No, I choose not to. You're missing a Brom. It feels like you are going to get more of the Noah Cobb show. How often are you throwing something to somebody like an Efrain Morales to see what, especially as the season goes on, to see what you've got in him, because he is out of contract at the end of the season?
I mean, I think you have to do it regardless, because it feels like, again, we know him with the 2's, but it feels like the moments he's been thrown into these like high pressure situations with the first team, Chicago, and with the second team as well, but he's just done really well. So yeah, I mean, this might be, you might have gone into this season thinking, all right, well, is he one that might not stick around? And I think he's on his way to convincing folks, like, maybe let's have a second thought, right? Like, let's see if maybe, I don't want to call him a late bloomer, but let's see if maybe.
Remember, I mean, he legitimately had to grow to his 6'4" frame. And when you literally have growing pains, and I mean that both figuratively and literally, the injuries that were associated with trying to get adjusted
let me literally tell you about the growing pains of getting over 6'3".
Yeah.
Because it is physical, and it's also coordination wise.
Mm-hmm.
It is, because imagine someone just hands you a body bigger than everyone else's, and you have to go figure out how to use it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you never do. Yeah, it is. Like my dad told me that back in the day, like watching me run the base. He's just like, it was like watching a deer run. He's like, you didn't know how to use your legs. He's like, there's a couple times you get up on your toes and you look like you were actually running, and then your body would freeze up and fall over. Yeah, man,
like,
it's hard.
That's like one of those fainting sheep.
Yeah, it's it's tough, man.
Well, I mean, then that's where you look at someone like an Efrain Morales, and like I said, the Chicago game is what sticks into my head. Plus, Open Cups and things like that, where Efra is not afraid of getting into these situations and almost getting points for Atlanta in Chicago if his header had been redirected a foot to the right,
Yep.
So I think it is an opportunity for Efra to showcase what he has, using the verb again, grown into. And that's what you want. All you want in these situations is that opportunity. And I think that Efra has earned that opportunity. And we see the relationship that Noah has with Luke going up the right-hand side. We've seen the relationship that Efra has had with Noah working second team minutes and the occasional first team minutes. So the rhythms are there. It's just, once again, not being intimidated by your surroundings that you're going to be with over this next month.
Yeah, and I think that's where you don't have to worry about them, I think, being intimidated, right? Because we sit here and say every week, like, how these guys, Noah's, Efrain's, Luke's, insert 2-player here, like, they're all unafraid. They're all fearless. And it's not like a fluky one-off thing. Like, we see this every single week. So I don't think you have to be worried about that. I think you just have to be worried about just some of the experience stuff. Like I mentioned, having Derek back there, he's going to be one that's going to help keep things under control as best he can. That's where you enjoy having your Daxes, because the IQ's there, and that's not to say that Noah Cobb and Efrain and Luke and all them have low soccer IQ, because I would argue that they actually are way smarter in terms of the game than just about any other, person in MLS their age. But there's still something to be said for a guy that, has played 855 games, and just has like tons of experience back there doing things. And so ultimately, I mean, I think there might be a matchup or two coming up that you might be able to work it to where you have to use a Noah and an Efrain, for most of the game. And I don't think DC's that one, because obviously they have Benteke and you got the issues with what happened last time. You can't go putting up that's the experience. You can't go put an 18-year-old up against a guy that played, overseas and was good. So ultimately, I think Rob's going to have to piece part it together and just be strategical in terms of when he puts the youth back there, because he's going to have to. The older guy minutes aren't going to be able to keep up. And then you work with what you can. You have to just trust in your depth. And Dax said it in his podcast the other day. He said, we believe in everybody on this team. And that's not an Atlanta podcast. That's his thing that he does, the Major League Tournament. And he's coming out and saying, like, we know we have a good team, and we know that we have to rely on our depth, and we believe in our depth. And it was more than just the boilerplate comments. I really do think that the guys trust the youth on this team.
Jarrett, go for it.
It's funny because I think despite the weird season, you've gotten a year now where you got another one of these in the game Sunday or game Saturday. I forget what day it was. Backup striker goals, a position that this club has struggled with. And now you have really two guys who are pouncing on moments and doing the hard work. Like Daniel Rios works his ass off, even when it doesn't pay off in a goal. But man, like you finally got backup strikers that work. And now they become regular strikers for the time being, at least until late June or late July, excuse me.
And first of all, that's the thing. It's so weird to have this conversation, because it just hasn't worked at all over the years. Like there hasn't been a backup. I mean, Dom Dwyer was cool, but like both him, Rios and Tiare, they were just putting in the work, and it's like they really do understand like that next man up thing. But I think they also just want to be starting. And, you have a moment like this with a coach change and everything else, opportunities are going to pop up. And you have to take advantage of it. And I feel like Daniel Rios did that the other day. I thought he was, like you said, very good. He did a lot of the dirty work that, you don't typically give a lot of props to. But he also got rewarded with the goal. And that goal came from his just relentless effort in the first place. So, I mean, it's nice to have it, which is it's a great thing to be able to say, all right, if one guy's down, or if one guy's in Mexico saying that, MLS likes to lose or whatever.
It's okay to lose in Major League Soccer.
Yeah. We have two guys back there that can pick up the slack. And at least Daniel Rios and Jamal Tiara haven't come out and said that they like to lose. So we have that going for us.
Day 4. Major League Soccer likes to lose. Number 11. Thank you, Mary. Yeah. So, something like, so when obviously, are you thinking just off the top of your head that it's going to be trying to, and Rob had some fun with it in discussing, how are you, the press conference, how do you plan on tackling Christian, having success against DC United and Christian Benteke? Ask him not to play. That's a good zinger to start things off with from Rob. But I'm thinking that it's going to be some combination of Dax, Derek, and Noah collapsing something akin to a supernova around Benteke, so he can't even breathe for however long he's going to be there, and remind him that you are there. Be physical with him, even though it might be more like a mosquito, and you're kind of going like that. But just take your finger and expose the knuckle, and pop him in the ribs a little bit. Remind him that you're there, and see how he reacts to being as physical as you can get in a situation like this, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, Noah could go up against Benteke, I think, again, now knowing what happened last time.
Yeah.
And he might come in a little too hot, which is okay.
Yeah.
Just let him know you're there, buddy. Don't let him have the game that he had last time. I also, we talked about all the depth and everybody else. I mean, this might be a game where you do try having that third center back and switch it up a little bit. I mean, and this is a time to do it. You could have Efrain and Noah and Derek. Derek flanked by the other two, just so he's kind of in the middle, and then you have Dax back there to help out. And DC over the past 4 games has not scored a ton of goals. They're, obviously Benteke, when he gets going, and we saw that. It's frustrating. It's always against Atlanta.
Charlotte pinned in DC the other day.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like it's possible to take their one benefit, their one strong point out of the game. You just have to be very, very organized about how you do it. And I think that's where, again, having the Derek Williamses and the Dax McCartys on the pitch is going to benefit you immensely. So you would have hoped it would have been at home when they figured that out. But, if they go out and win tonight, after everything that Rob said the other day in the press conference, and then, of course, everything else going on with Atlanta's record and all, this would be a big, big time win if they could pull it off.
Jarrett, go for
it. To move off that for a second, I want to ask how much of the Euros have you been keeping up with?
A good bit. I didn't watch any of the games yesterday, but I was keeping track of them. I watched every game.
One match that was available on non-Vixie TV.
Yeah.
Non-Fubo TV yesterday.
Yeah.
Hey, all 3 are available on Fox or FS1 today, including the one right now.
That is correct. 1-0 at the break. Albania leading Croatia. Croatia, who probably is going to get to apply for Social Security at some point as a roster in the next couple of seasons. So, keep going, Jarrett. You're on a roll.
I did watch the opener, and because I actually I have Scottish ancestry, and I was just hoping, and that went out the window very quickly. So
I can warn you about that.
I knew it was going to happen. I had an idea, but also I figured, Germany's so up and down. You never know what you're going to get.
Steve Clark decided to be scared. It happens. Actually, the teams of the match day, like the Who Scored and Sofa Scored team of the match days came out, and then somebody created an inverse, like the worst teams of the match day. I think it was Who Scored's worst team of the match day. The entire back line was Scotland.
Wow.
And the other one, the goalkeeper was Scotland.
Wow.
And the 6 was Jack Hendry. It was basically like all of Scotland's midfield and defense. It was the worst rated team in the Euros so far. So, hey, nowhere to go but up. We found bedrock as far as we know.
Yeah, and Ryan Porteous has found the bench for the rest of the group stage.
Yeah. Also, do you have any food recommendations for Lionel Messi hanging out in Kennesaw?
Oh, that's true.
Something that will. Well, never mind. They're not playing the U.S. anytime soon, so I guess that might be a little facetious. I was going to say anything that would tear his stomach up, but I don't want Argentina to lose.
I mean, the McAllisters is right down the street from
Yeah. I was going to say, he could go find a Hattie B's. I know that's Nashville, but they have them here. Go find you a Hattie B's and get you some spicy fried chicken, man, and just see what it's like. God, guarantee you I can find you a better pizza place than the one you found in Miami. That was ridiculous.
I mean, there's the cookouts right there.
Oh.
That's true.
Ooh.
There's a Del Taco. There's a cookout right there.
Yeah.
There's a Whataburger on the main strip on Chastain.
Oh.
Yep.
Hutch is helping out with Martin's.
There you go.
Oh, buddy.
Send him downtown to the not downtown, but Little Five, and to go to the Vortex.
Yeah. Well, Martin's will turn his stomach into a cement mixer.
Could you imagine? Because you know how it is too. It's not like these guys are typically eating that kind of food, so it's okay every once in a while. Like they don't eat this kind of food, so you come to the deep South, and you've never really had this kind of stuff. That's a wrap, buddy. That's going to be a long 3 or 4 days for you in your stomach.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we could just send him to the Cracker Barrel up there on there's a Cracker Barrel on Chastain just off 75.
That's true.
Yeah. Get him some apple butter and some biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
The whole 9 yards, yeah.
Get him a George Strait CD on the way out the door.
A turntable with an old record.
Couple of Raceway taquitos.
Oh.
Lionel Messi bought a rocking chair outside the Cracker Barrel.
And a checkerboard.
Yeah. We just go in.
He's playing checkers with Lautaro Martinez.
Best player in the world, just sitting in a rocking chair playing checkers next to the fireplace with a blanket over his legs. He's a 70-year-old woman on the frontier.
Get him like a black 10-gallon cowboy hat with the hay sticking out of the side of his mouth.
He can go get like some like old like classic root beers or sarsaparilla or something from the corner. Yeah, I like this fan fiction. This is fun.
What is this? Sir? That's root beer, sir. That's a sarsaparilla. Oh yeah, get him to play the golf tee.
The golf tee game, yeah.
Oh, that'd be tremendous. Who on the Argentine national team would be the most frustrated by the golf tee game?
Debu, for sure.
Oh yeah,
he would throw it.
Or actually, you know what Debu would probably do? He would probably sit there and he would go to a teammate and sit there and go, "Hey, look over there, man. Is that are they changing the price tags?" And he sits there and he does like some skips.
The golf pulls everything out except for one.
It just changes them around.
Exactly.
Oh man. Well, I need this now.
Yes, I think so. So just take the buses. Now, I mean, I give the Argentine fans a lot of credit for finding the fraction in the first place, lining the road.
It's the only stadium in Kennesaw, man.
But they've got to get through the traffic on 75 North to get off at Busby, and then find it and get up there. I mean, shoot, they had to have left like 3 days ago to find practice to get there in time if they're going up 75.
They got off on the right side of Chastain, okay? They didn't – you made the right decision, which is when you get off 75 North, you go right. You don't want to go left because then that's the school, and then there's a Mellow Mushroom over there and really not much else. Used to be a decent brewery over there, but it shut down because I think the owner committed insurance fraud.
That's not good. No.
So Tri-County no longer exists, but otherwise, like there's the small airfield, and then you're starting getting into downtown Kennesaw, which isn't really where you want to be. No, it's not as fun.
That is absolutely true. By the way,
yeah, there's a Marlowe's over there. Oh my God, you're right.
Atlanta United has signed Matt Edwards and Matias Gallardo to short-term agreements. So, in our 2's discussion, Matt Edwards and Matias Gallardo, they have been signed for short-term agreements for the matchup against DC. Quoting the Atlanta United press release, per 2024 MLS roster rules and regulations. Sorry, Ted Baxter. Per 2024 MLS roster rules and regulations, a club may sign a player aged 25 or younger during the league season from its affiliate to a maximum of 4 short-term agreements up to 4-day contracts each season, maximum of 16 days. Individual player may be included on up to 4 MLS League season match rosters each season. However, that player may appear in no more than 2 MLS League season matches. I'm sorry, that rule's got to change.
Yes.
An individual player may appear in any number of non-league games during the terms of his 4 short-term agreements. So Matt Edwards has signed his 4th and final short-term agreement this season since he joined on December 22nd, 2023. I re-emphasize that this rule has to change. But Gallardo and Edwards are part of the crew that is going to play DC United. So, it's cool that we got into that we're seeing that them added to this whole thing. But once again, getting to the whole point that the rule has to change. It's got to be like the NBA where you can just sign folks to a 10-day contract, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Cool, fine, whatever. 4, and now you've apparently done the 4th one for Matt Edwards, and you can't use him anymore this season with the issues at the back now. And so you're hoping against hope that you don't have to worry about any kind of other roster additions that you need at the back, because Matt Edwards is apparently now 4 for 4.
Yeah, and he's one of your guys that is adding depth at one of the back positions, right? Like either left or right back, because he can play both. But you've got Caleb, and then of course the rumor about the new guy coming in, but that's still going to be a ways away. If it
gossip, rumor, and innuendo, sir. I don't know if we can handle that during transfer windows.
We got too much going on this morning.
Oh man! Second half has already started. Albania still leads 1-0.
But no, I mean, first of all, the club clearly rates Matt highly. I mean, and they should. I think Matt's a great guy. I'll give a quick plug. Henry did a great article on Matt a couple of days ago over on our website.
There you go.
So go check that out. But I mean, I like it. I don't know that you're going to have to use him, but it would be irresponsible to not make this call up considering just what you have ahead of you, right? And what you have as far as the depth that you could have used during this tough stretch of games. So, it's always a gamble with this stupid rule because you should be able to confidently say like, all right, we have yay many guys out on international duty. We have yay many injuries. We have had issues with depth, whatever. Yeah, you played right back, so I'm going to bring you up just because I can, not because I've got to do algebra to figure out when I can bring you up. Like, it's so stupid. But, the thing is, at the end of the day, if he gets the time, I think he'll do well. And that's all you can ask for.
Player algebra.
Yeah.
Last thing we need is player algebra in all of this.
It's true.
Yeah.
People are going to be really upset when Gajardo doesn't like play. He's up here to provide depth just in case, God forbid, something happened. Like, people are going to be really mad when he doesn't play, or they're going to lose their minds if he does, because Matthias might be insane. There's a very good chance he is clinically insane with the ball at his feet.
Well,
because his firm belief that he is going to dribble everyone in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look at it this way. Since you only have 4 short-term call-ups available per individual in a season, he can get 4 yellow cards in 4 matches and not have a fifth occur, so he's not having a suspension.
This is galaxy brain decision-making right here.
See? That's what we're here for, man. Emilio's asking, do we think that Firmino and Fortune will show anything? Yes and yes. I think so.
You're gonna need Firmino coming up here with the Olympics.
Yeah, you are.
You need somebody to play, and he's not going to play the 10 the same way, but
yeah,
you're going to need something from him. You low key dodged a bullet when Trinidad got knocked out by Canada.
Yep.
Because could you imagine trying to put all this together right now without Jay Fortune in the midfield?
And that's the struggle that I'm trying to figure out, is not so much if they'll show up, because they will. I mean, I'm not worried about that. I mean, Nick, this is the time when you want to get him going in whatever way you can. And he's got it. He really does. It's just going to be a matter of kind of turning that curve in MLS. And Firmino got that little taste of it, right, in his very short cameo against New York last year. But Jay, he brings, if nothing else, he's going to bring energy. He's going to bring, lots of mobility. He's going to defend, even if it's a little crazy at times. But you just got to figure out who, if Dax isn't playing, who's going to be essentially that number 6. I think that's my biggest kind of point of contention, because again, Jay, as much as he's been put as a defensive midfielder at times, I feel like he's better as an 8. Moving the ball forward a little bit more. It's just nice when you have a guy like a Dax McCarty or even a Slish, who that's what they do. They're just a defensive midfielder, and they do it really well. And taking both of them out of the team, whether it's for the Euros or just because they can't play, 180 minutes back to back, I think you lose a little bit. You just got to figure it out, and that's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm. David is requesting at some point in hour number 2 that we discuss the Sophia Smith NWSL release.
Buddy, did you see this, Tower?
I did not see that. I've missed a lot, man, with this move.
All right, okay. So Jarrett, go ahead and go for it. Since we're keeping Tyler in the 4th, has held up the light board, and we're just like, screw you, taxpayer.
Let's
go.
Okay, Tyler, did you see her red card she got?
I did not see. I've heard about it, but I did not see it.
Okay, yeah, you know the gist. Like, she was on the bench already on a yellow, on the bench, takes the ball and hides it underneath the bench, like she's at the media game kind of thing. Gets a red. So Portland appeals this red. NWSL rules that the appeal is frivolous. So Portland does not get their bond back that they put up for the appeal. Her fine and suspension are doubled. So she's suspended for an extra game, and her fine is doubled. And Portland cannot appeal a suspension for the next year, for this season and next season.
Are you serious?
As a heart attack.
The panel unanimously denied the appeal and deemed it frivolous because the Thorns forced, this is from our friends at Oregon Live, because the Thorns forced the panel to review what they determined was an unnecessary appeal by the union. The panel decided to punish Smith by doubling her suspension to 2 games, increasing the fine associated with the red, and the panel punished the Thorns by taking away their right to appeal any other decisions for the remainder of this season and next.
So they basically said, y'all come at me with something stupid, and I'm doubling everything. That's amazing. Wow. Wow.
Yep. The NWSLPA appealed the decision to the review committee. The review committee unanimously upheld the Players Association appeal, rescinding the additional 1-game suspension and increased fine. But the review committee let stand the loss of the bond and the inability to appeal any other decisions in 24 and 25. By the way, she's the league's leading goal scorer.
Right. Y'all taking it away for next year, though. That's crazy.
Kansas City Current were thrilled about this because now they don't have to deal with her.
Yeah.
Like, cool. We don't have to see her. That's a great day for us. But yeah. This year and next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thanks for wasting our time here in class. So, by the way, we're making our test longer for you.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they didn't sit down and actually look at this thing again. They already saw it. They're like, we're not, whatever. Like, this is stupid. They spent no time.
You're blanking kidding me with this?
Yeah.
It's like your kid does something really dumb and then comes and tries to complain to you and lobby you. And you're like, no, I'm already in a bad mood from your bad decision.
Yeah.
Don't make it worse.
And both of you as fathers know all about this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And now you're going to be made an example of.
Yeah. And see, Tyler's got more than one. Tyler can like set an example with one for the others. Like one person can be made an example of for others. I only have one. If I make her an example, there's no one else to learn the lesson. So it's just a one-off. I have less work to do than Tyler does.
That's true.
Well, and now, you know, in that same vein, like I guarantee you Orlando or Kansas City or any other team, insert team here, is definitely not going to go and do it now. That the example has been made, and now everybody is probably going to have a little second thought about going and trying to appeal anything.
Yeah, it was just funny when it happened because I watched the clip of, I'm like, this looks like something we would have done at the media game. Like, time's running out. The ball rolled out of play. And one of us took the ball and like hit it under or just sat on it.
Yeah.
Like,
or just turned, like kicked it towards I-75 or something.
Yeah. I could see Jarrett doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd miss, but yeah.
No, you'd launch it, and however far it goes. It's just like, man, I was trying to get it on goal, and I just pull hooked it. I don't know what happened.
As he's facing towards the interstate.
Yeah, as the ball just kind of goes like this and heads toward the interstate.
I wasn't trying to waste time. Then why'd you pull out a buck knife and stab the ball?
Or I could see Maddie doing something like that. Absolutely, I could. Yeah. She's not here. I can say that.
She can't defend herself. It's fine.
No, she can't. That's absolutely true.
That's perfect.
Yes. So we have kept you for an hour, my friend.
Anytime. I'm having fun. I've learned 2 new things today too.
MLS
this move has pulled me away from things. You know, I'm normally pretty in tune, but I've learned 2 really good stories today. One which makes me angry still, but that last one was pretty funny. I like it.
So you cross the NWSL. Yeah, it literally it's like it's like our buddy the principal in the Breakfast Club. Mess with the bull, you get the horn.
I love it.
You get the horns, and so Portland got the Thorns got the horns in this case, and also apparently it's okay to lose in Major League Soccer, especially in Atlanta.
Yeah, who knew?
Yeah, I know.
Who knew?
Exactly. I mean, that's legitimately that's what you learn on especially on Wednesdays when much like no other day here on the show, things go completely and totally off the rails, and you know, that's how this is sometimes, you know.
And now you know the rest of the story.
Yeah, so you know that's where we are here on a Wall Pass Wednesday.
Why do you have a Paul Harvey drop?
Because it's appropriate toward the end of the show, end of a show or end of a segment, or you can do something like this.
Good day.
You know, it's all out there, man. It's like, why do I have a Leroy Jenkins drop? Because
What year do you think it is?
1975, and I'm listening
Close enough.
to GST at noon when Paul Harvey goes from 12:30 to 1 o'clock. I'm out playing baseball in my backyard and reenacting the 75 World Series with Carlton Fisk, and Paul Harvey's 12:30 to 1 o'clock with the commercials is going on 640 WGST.
You've organized this in your head a little too well.
It was
Damn
good.
right I have.
It was good.
Damn right I have. So, but I mean, look, there are so many other things that I could have as drops. It just depends on the proper situation.
I mean, you've hit them pretty good today for sure. They've all definitely come in at the perfect time.
Absolutely. Yeah, and so that's what we're here for. Promo, what's going on with you and Scarves and the letter N Spikes and all of the live shows and all the things, because you're getting pretty busy, aren't you?
We are. We'll have our regular show. Well, it'll be a little different because it'll be before the match tonight, but we'll be doing like a pre-match thing and then doing a watch along type deal on for patrons. So that'll be the thing tonight. But then tomorrow, Copa America, obviously kicking off. We'll be at the Signia Hotel right next to the Benz 2 hours before kickoff, and we'll be doing a live show there for about an hour, just kind of getting everybody prepped for Copa America and hanging out. And place has a brand new menu that they just released this week, kind of for Copa America and the Euros and all. So yeah, y'all come hang out.
Okay, so very good.
Survey says one more for the good guys.
There you go. So, Tyler, as always, you know you can crash at any time. You got golden ticket status, but I know that you're juggling moving. How long do you think it's going to take you to deconstruct your office there?
Well, we're going to find out tonight. I don't know. This is the one room in this house that is like still relatively put together, like not completely. Like I used to have my TV right here and it's now in my bedroom. But all of it's going over. But this room, probably a solid 2 hours at least. It's going to be fun.
Okay. Well, remember, shower, multiple shower rods.
Yes.
Shower rods and towel racks. That's what gets you through this whole thing.
Yes.
So you don't have to do what the boss did and reinforce all of the curtain rods and things.
Yeah. So otherwise you start getting a little bow action going on.
Yeah. So the boss had to reinforce them. That's where we are. So go get some calf instead of the decaf that is currently in your cup.
Yes, I am. That is my next stop.
All right. Thank you, my friend. We'll catch up with you, and we will see you either A, at Signia, or B, inside the Merc, and we will see you when Copa America hits town.
Sounds good. See y'all.